protest. This is how you do a protest. Got a beautiful one on stage. Hard banging drums. And dessert for later. That's how you do a protest.
At Freedom for Iran Dublin. Today's event is replicated in dozens of cities across the world. Today is the global day of action against the Islamic Republic of Iran. The people of Iran have had their voice silenced. The Islamic regime have cut the internet and shut dead unarmed protesters. Children, mothers, fathers, and the best and brightest of the country murdered by evil leaders who only know hate.
It's a memorial for people who have been murdered by the Islamic regime. People are mostly in their 20s. A 3-year-old. Who murders a 3-year-old? An Islamist. Islamists like to murder people. That's why I don't like Islam. King Reza Pahlavi! King Reza Pahlavi! Very good. High five! Oh. Yes! Javid Shah! Shah! Yay! There you go. It's a bit better. So thank you, Maurice. I haven't heard of you before. You're an independent councillor.
No, I'm not. I'm a Fine Gael councillor.
Oh, you're for Fine Gael?
I am, indeed.
You're the first Fine Gael that has ever stood up against the Islamic regime in a long time.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Well, okay, fair enough. I never thought I would shake hands with a Fine Gael man. This is the first time in 10 years.
Then I've made history.
Hey, you've made history. So your name is Maurice?
My name is Maurice Dockrell. I'm a Fine Gael councillor in Blackrock.
Okay.
Which is within Dunleary Restdown County Council.
Okay, because my local Fine Gael TD is Nisha Murray.
Yes.
He never responds to my emails or phone calls about these kind of issues.
Okay.
What I would like to do is talk to the Irish government or the media representing traditional Irish Christian values, opposing the Islamic regime, terrorism, and also like Hamas, the Provisional IRA, the UDA, and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm with you on that.
Cool. So can I call your office?
Well, it's me. I am my office. You'll find my contact details.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maurice. I'm a local councillor in Blackrock Ward in Dunleary.
Oh.
On the 12th of January, we brought a motion condemning the Iranian government and calling upon the Irish government to expel the Iranian ambassador designate if the killings continued. They have, so I am calling upon the Irish government to expel the Iranian ambassador and close down the Iranian embassy. I'm calling upon, I'm going to name them, Micheál Martin, our Taoiseach, Simon Harris, our Taoiseach, and Helen McEntee, Minister for Foreign Affairs. Send the Iranian ambassador designate home now and close the embassy down now. Today is normally a day where we celebrate love.
I know where he cuts the bastard liberal. I know where the bastard is. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your support. Now. Okay, I won't allow myself to be distracted. Today is a day of love, so I'm going to wish you all peace and love. Because all the Iranian demonstrations that I've seen worldwide have been peaceful. And that is a credit to you as a people. 3 days ago, and I don't wish to trespass upon your time for too long, but I have a few things I'd like to say, because I want you to know how we feel in this country and how we support here. On the 11th of February, which you know is only a few days ago, I did what many of us do. I switched on my phone, and there on a simple feed, I saw the night sky above Tehran. I saw apartment blocks, silhouetted in darkness, suddenly pierced by fireworks, by light, by defiance. Then I heard a sound I will never forget. Friends, it will be inside me forever. I heard the sound of people shouting for freedom. People like you, people like me, raising their voices until they cracked against the cold iron machinery of oppression. I want you now to shout for freedom. Will you shout for freedom?
Yay!
It was not a slogan, it was not theatre, it was primal, it was visceral. It was the cry of a nation that has endured 47 years of systematic darkness and is now reaching at last for the light. A living flame of courage flickered across my screen. The tears ran down my face, as they're going to do now, but it was out of a recognition. It was a sound I'd never heard before in my life. This is what freedom sounds like when it is demanded, irrevocably demanded. We must call things by their proper names, my friends. Iran, or Persia, is one of the great civilizations of this earth, a cradle of poetry, science, and the very dawn of human dignity. But that land, your land, has been raped by a criminal operation. This is a regime, and I think we have to put this on the record, this is a regime with a long, blood-soaked history of contempt for human life. We remember how they sent children to the front lines during the Iran-Iraq war. Young boys used to clear minefields with their bare feet and plastic keys around their necks, promised a paradise that their leaders were too cowardly to seek themselves. They had no respect for your lives then, and they have none now. This government has murdered, raped and tortured, in particular young people, for decades. Credible estimates from this most recent 2026 uprising suggest that upwards of 36,000 people may have been extinguished in just the last few weeks. We see the photos here today. When you add the tens of thousands slaughtered in 1988, 2019 and 2022, and I'm sure there are many other days as well, we're looking at a regime that has claimed the lives of well over 120,000 of its citizens. Probably many more. Now I want to address events that happened this week in my constituency, I'm ashamed to say. This regime celebrated an event right here in our own community in Bhutan, a shameful celebration of the Islamic Republic. To see a toast raised to tyranny that is currently hunting its own children in hospitals, turning wards of healing into chambers of execution, is a stain on this city, a stain on this country. Those who attended that event are a disgrace to Irish democracy. They are standing on the bodies of the fallen. They are at best useful idiots, and at worst they are complicit. I hope those who attended will be identified. I hope for the sake of our national conscience that no Irish politician was amongst them. You cannot claim to represent the Irish people while clinking glasses with representatives, and I'll call it what it is, a gallows state. To me, that was a banquet of blood and should not be condoned. As a lawyer, and I am a lawyer, I believe in due process. I believe in the sacred right to a defense. In Iran or Persia, this is a cruel joke. We see big trials that last minutes. We see confessions extracted through the breaking of bones. We see a judiciary turned into a hangman. The leadership of this regime must be toppled and brought before the world, not for revenge, but for an international tribunal similar to Nuremberg. And unlike their rule, we will give them a fair trial, but they must be put on trial. The world must finally witness the full horror that is done to your people and how this regime has funded international terrorism. To those who trade with this regime, I'm going to say, your profits are not worth the lives of the innocent. You cannot wash the blood off your balance sheets. And I want to address the hypocrisy of the mullahs. While they preach austerity to the masses, their own families live millionaire lifestyles as far removed from authentic Islam as is possible. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard, which the EU finally and rightly designated as a terror organization last month, spends billions annually to fund international proxies warring on freedom across the world, Syria, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Yemen, Somalia and beyond. Yet their families and their blood-stained money are given safe harbor in much of the West and Russia. They party in their capitals, in our capitals, while their people starve. History shows us that tyranny often wears a mask. In 1979, we saw the red and the green, the alliance of the radical left and the Islamists, suppressing the democracy of Iran. Today we see the red and black doing the same worldwide. They cannot be allowed to win. The source is Tehran. If we cut the head off this serpent, the funding of international Islamism will be dealt a mortal blow.
First ever
Blow.
in Irish
The
politics.
time, and I just want to address to the Irish government, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you for so long. But the time for vague diplomatic concern has passed. This moment demands clarity of thought, but much more important, action. And I'm going to repeat what I said at the outset. I'm calling upon Micheál Martin, Simon Harrison, Helen McEntee to lead with courage at this moment. Expel the Iranian ambassador designate and close the embassy. That is what we have to repeat. Some European states have already begun to act. Ireland must not lag behind. We should expel the Iranian ambassador and close this embassy, which is, I regard as an embassy of repression. I'm nearly there, friends. And we should also freeze their assets. We need to fully enforce the IRGC terror designation and freeze every asset linked to this regime. And almost finally, I'm calling upon President Trump. You said help was on the way, President Trump. Now let the world see that resolve. The people of Iran and Persia are not dying for another nuclear deal. They're dying for democracy, they're dying for freedom, and that's why we're here today, to shout for freedom and democracy. And finally, I want to address our young people in Ireland. I look to our campuses and ask, where is the outrage? Why is there such a deafening silence amongst our students, our young people? In Iran or Persia, students are at the vanguard, risking the gallows for the taste of liberty. They are murdered, they are raped, they are tortured, their bones are broken, yet they go out and march again and again. We have liberty here, which we take for granted. They do not. So I'm calling upon Irish students across this country, support your fellow students in Iran, support the young people of Iran. Like Ireland, Iran is a young population dying for freedom. We have freedom here, and I hope our student body rises with you and joins with you. And I'm also calling upon, thank you friends, and finally, I am a politician of the centre. We in the centre do not tend to march, but the time has now come to fight for our values. We must help your people with not just words but with actions. It is time for the centre to march. It is time for the left to march. It is time for the
left aren't going to march.
Right to march.
Left aren't going to
Well,
march.
I'm inviting the left to march, sir.
It's not going to happen.
And finally, the struggle for freedom is worldwide. It is not just Iran. It is in the Ukraine. It is across the Middle East. It is in China. It is elsewhere. It is time to end this war on freedom. In particular, the war on young women and women in general. We see it in Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, to name but a few. This must end. Our values are that we are equal. I, as a politician, believe in the Enlightenment. I believe in democracy. And as a Democrat, I stand with you, the people of Iran and Persia. You want freedom, you want democracy. And I, for one, will not rest until you have it, and I will not look away. And I call upon all Irish politicians, do not look away. Do not abandon the people of Iran to a nuclear deal. End this tyranny now. My friends, it is Valentine's Day. I wish you peace and love.